Hi, friends. How's it going? How are we doing? Happy Monday. Or, you know, it's Monday. How happy can it be? No, honestly, as far as Mondays go, not horrible, not the worst. I personally am exceedingly tired. But that's what happens when you don't sleep very well. And, are constantly woken up because people decide that, 2 in the morning is a good time to do laps around the apartment. But regardless, I also think I'm just like coming down with something stress related nonsense, but like doesn't change the fact that I'm not feeling the hottest. But that being said, I am determined to get through this dang game. I meant to look up about how long Haunting Ground was, and then I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna do that right now. About 9 hours. It says about a 9-hour game. I think we're like fast approaching the halfway point, probably ish. Maybe slightly under. But we officially, as of today, have 2 weeks until Silent Hill 2 comes out. React however feels appropriate to you. There's not quite excitement in me for it. But there sure are feelings in there. No, I do want to finish this game up before then. I don't think it'll take us the full 2 weeks to finish it, but obviously that kind of just depends on how I'm feeling, how work is going, how I can manage everything outside of streaming. But I don't know, I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I really want to start streaming more consistently again. Assuming that life is nice and not being a full-on asshole about everything. Can't ask that much, really, I don't think. But yeah, we're gonna do more Haunting Ground today. And then try and figure out what to do between the end of that and Silent Hill, depending on how soon we finish it. But for now, y'all wanna play this dang silly video game here? So I kinda wanna play this dang silly video game here. Excuse me. Oh my god. We were running away from Daniela, weren't we? And we're trying to navigate our way around this horrible maze. We could get outside. Okay, but where is she coming from, buddy? I don't remember the direction that we were running from. It's fine, I'm sure. Is she this way? Or you just growling to growl? We finished up the difference puzzle that was down there. And we were able to cross these. Oh, yep, we're stomping again, huh? Well, I want to stream, is the thing. Like, I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm really liking streaming again. However, the stomping that's upstairs is really distracting! And horrible! And I would like for people to stop. No amount of yelling is going to make any of this better. I've tried. We've tried. I've tried talking to them.
Come on.
Huey, no crying. You're okay, buddy. I've told them. I've talked to them and been like, hey, it's pretty fucking miserable when you let your kids run around upstairs. All the time, all day. Maybe let's not. Hello, Arm. And that's just like not done anything. Is it just gonna keep beckoning? Is that just what it does now? Also, it's talking about lifeblood? need to read that again. Spirits, lifeblood, no matter how you cut it, these don't sound like the words of rest spoken to the dearly departed. Okay, but what does it say? Looks to be a mausoleum. Dead spirit, craving for life, crawling back from the underworld. Sip of the fresh flowing lifeblood. When your thirst is quenched, return to the darkness from whence you came. Alright, I think I determined... I think I was considering that this was potentially for... weird corpsemen. Can I go up here? No.
Huey.
Come on, Huey. Weird corpseman in that torture room. Who won't give me that dang key. Give me that key. Give me that key. Huey, you have to stop growling at everything. Oh, that's the door. Okay. Never mind. I do know where the door is. The key, we were talking about how, like, yesterday I was talking about how, like, I didn't know where the key was. Or where the door was for the key that the corpse man has. Like, where it goes to. That is incorrect. I know where it is now. We have located it. So that's helpful. That does at least get us, like, partly in the right direction. So I think close the door. You won't let me electrocute the man again.
Go, Huey.
So is it just a matter...
Good boy.
Okay. Come here.
Huey. Sit.
Stay. Good. So then... Still not 100% about this puzzle. Huey, what are you doing?
Sit.
Is that... I mean, these are elemental symbols. None of which really correspond with lifeblood, you know? So are we having to... Never mind, we got it, I guess. I suppose. We've actually gone and done it. Me when I'm overstimulated. Are you for realsies dead now? I'm not entirely sure how we solved that, but it's fine. We got the key.
Huey. Good boy.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to the room. Hey, Farley. Hey. No, thank you. Why do you look so scrunkly? Why is my cat so scrunkly? Hey. Why do you look so concerned? I don't know what he's doing. Danielle is gonna show up, isn't she? It's gonna be horrible and awful and really annoying. And we're gonna hate every second of it. This isn't the right way. Like, that hand is still beckoning. Birdie! It's true! He's still scrunkly! And I keep saying that, and then he keeps looking at me like, yeah, I am. You're so scrunkly. I do need to brush him. I should be able to do that in the coming days. Probably tomorrow. Nope, I meant to do key. How are you doing though? How's it going, Fruity? Use. Got that Venus key. Okay. Oh! This goes in here now. Okay. Also, listen. Rip it and rip it. That's a bad noise. Mandrake sucks. Understood. What's this? It's a bad carrot. As long as it's not a false beat, it's fine. Is this an info sheet on the plants here? There's something written here. In order to procure the large quantity of blood required to complete the grand process, a fusion of plant and animal known as the Flora Animalia was created. It was originally derived from a secret formula and named the Mandragora. Multiple plant types were focused in on, were fused in an attempt to create the Mandragora, but only the combination of the Hebel seemed to possess a similar liquid composition. In current research, our subjects are nearly identical to the real Mandragora. Flower color and an ever so faint difference in smell is the only way to tell the original apart from the substitute. Caution must be exercised. If the Mandragora is ever uprooted, it has two powerful defense mechanisms. It emits a loud ear-rupturing shriek, and it can paralyze its attacker with poisonous leaves. Excuse me. If the situation becomes too dangerous, one should quickly throw away the Mandragora to get out of harm's way. Okay. So I'm assuming that's the lifeblood we need. Full-bodied flowers sprout from the bed. No. I mean, this one had totally dried out. Guess can't hurt me now. Never look at a plant the same way again. It had a yellow flower, right? We want this one? Well. Here's hoping we can get to where we need to go fast enough. Oh my god. Where is she? Well, this is unfortunate. We're just in full panic mode now, Fiona. Okay, we can calm down. It's okay. You want to use this? Oh. Okay, hold on. What does this say? This doesn't really tell me much of anything except lifeblood. Torn letter didn't tell us much of anything. Okay, we've already done that, so none of that is particularly helpful. I feel like I'm missing some information. Let's go ahead and discard that, because I think it was actively causing me damage just by holding it.
Huey.
Come on, Huey. And I think I need more information, but I'm not entirely sure where to get more information regarding
Huey.
the Mandragora. Like, the only place I could think of would be, I don't know. The, like, alchemy room that we were in. In order to prepare the large quantity of blood required to complete the grand process of fusion, yeah. Mandragora. Only the combination of the Hebel seemed to possess a similar liquid composition.
Come on.
Huey, can you come here? Can you smell which one we need?
Huey.
Where did Huey go? Yeah, I also think it was making me go insane, which is why we dropped it. While I try and figure out what's going on. Okay, Huey, can you go? Smell out the one that we want.
Huey.
Why? There's not really a ton of information to go off of here. So let's just pull out all of them. Discard. Well, hold on. Okay, so it just describes the exact same thing. Is this? Yeah, let's just reduce our panic a little bit so we're not running around. It doesn't feel correct that it... Oh, shit. Fuck off. Daniela, I am busy. Okay, well, let's make our way to the... Oh god, go away. To that, like, alchemy room. And see if there was any information in there that I could use. This is not the correct way. Fuck off! Everything is wiggled around and I don't remember where anything is located anymore. Oh my god. You have to stop. Don't lick the poker, you weirdo. Oh god. Oh. Let's go ahead and use chamomile. And... some more Mundus, I guess. She's coming after me. Oh my god. This lady sucks, like, a lot.
Stop. Huey.
Okay, well, we'll just run away. Run into some walls. Apparently I can't go back. Oh my god. I'm not in here. You don't know I'm in here. Ugh. Yep, go away, Daniela. Nope, that's incorrect. I think I need to go through the door that's at the end of this corridor. That's, like, behind her now. Don't open it. I swear to God. I think you need to leave. Yeah, just, like, full on go away. Ugh. Look, she can have her giggle in a completely separate room from where I am. You know? I think she just needs to leave me alone. Not only here. Not where I am. Please. Oh, right. There's this horrible room. Is there just the one way to go? Oh! Stuffed chimera showing off its fierce gaze. Why would anyone ever decorate a room with something this hideous? Love a chimera. Yeah, ma'am.
Go, Huey.
Huey, can you get this for me? Not the perfect acoustics. Okay, I just had to find the bright pixel. Sylvester Esca. Oh, isn't that the thing to, like, make dog real good? Alchemic concoction makes a dog angry and raises their attack power. Like, forever? Like, permanently? Let's go this way. Because this gets us where we need to go. That's still just a useless balcony. And I want you to go in there. Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah, that just talks about this. Which I think I have a few more things. Just the one, okay. Done it so bad. I don't know that I could do it worse than I've done it. It's empty. Okay, cool. Love that. Love that for me. Is there any lovely reading in here about mandrakes? No. Is there... The only other thing I can think of is, like, we've got a film reel, but I don't know where I can use that. Because we haven't found anything that, like, can play film. Is there... Oh, I just, like, missed this corner. I've decided to summon that renowned master alchemist to the castle. There's talk that the Count has used a technique known as the dry method to obtain eternal life. Some may consider it sacrilege, but with the Lord's thankless cooperation, I will base my research off any findings obtained through their generous sacrifices. Eternal life obtained through the power of the dry method seems to carry no side effects. As it stands, the Lord is showing no effects of aging. Even though his skin is cracked, his flesh rotten, and his entrails liquefied, it appears that death will not be visiting him anytime soon. However, I will carry on with my research. After all, in my case, time actually is on my side. The eternal life brought forth from the power of the dry method is not bound by time nor spiritual energies. However, it's not enough to fully realize my dreams. Any research beyond this point will be meaningless without the sacred Azoth. My interest toward my dry method research is waning, but I shall write its formula as well as the results of my research here. A group of followers and I have calmed the four flames which symbolize the basic elements. Thusly, the alchemic chain has been ruptured, and the spirit has been eternally freed from the body. Okay, but what does that mean? And what has that done for me? Because it made a noise. Like a thing has been accomplished. An incredible number of books. Is that all you have to say about them? In various languages, whoever read all these must have had a superb education. Probably considered a genius for their time, or our time for that matter. What am I doing? It's not like I can even read the titles or anything. What an incredible number of books. Okay, well, that was lightning. Okay, and then we're back up here, which does not really help us, because that just leads back downstairs. Which is nice for me, but is not nice for Huey. Also, there's a save spot, and it's been a minute, so let's do a save. Okay. Jesus. Oh. I hate my neighbors. I keep talking about it, and I'm sorry about that, but, like, I fucking hate them. Oh my god. I'm sorry that you could hear that. Why are they the worst? Still not as bad as the previous ones, but they're not great. Something's written here. Oh, that just tells us more about the stuff that we can make. Just, like, you have to, like, recognize, especially after being told multiple times, right? That, like, the shit you're doing can be heard. And it's not great. You did not just cross here seconds ago, ma'am. Can confirm. And therefore, maybe being mindful of the kinds of things that you were doing and the things that you're letting your children do would be, the kind, considerate thing. But fuck that, I guess. Okay, hold on. Where am I trying to go? I mean, we need the mandrake, right? So what if I pick up all 4? Will that kill me? In here? She is.
Come on.
Daniela, why are you like this? This is a bathroom, and this is of no use to us anymore, right? Right, because we already did this puzzle.
Come on.
Oh, God. This also doesn't help us because it just leads into the room that she's in, right? Huey. Are we good?
Fiona.
What a filthy little princess. Small present from the Lord of the Manor. Oh! Thanks! Hey Huey, do you want to smell this? And then find the correct plant for us? Thanks, Daniela. I guess. Let's go ahead and overwrite that one because we just saved, and the only thing that has changed is that we got the necklace. weird. Weird that it wants you to talk to her. Come on.
Come on.
Let's close this. And then...
Come on.
Come here, Huey. Hold on. Special items. Use. Can you sniff this out? It's the white one. Okay. Thanks. And then we have to get... Let's eat some lavender. That should help, at least temporarily. Maybe get us where we need to go quickly. Fuck off. Like, full on fuck off. Close it. Oh my god. Okay. That hand is still beckoning. Why can't I use that here? Sip of the fresh flowing lifeblood. When your thirst is quenched, return to the darkness from whence you came. Oh, do I need to give this to you? Yes, okay. That's why it's still beckoning. Is that good? Okay. We've done it, though! Okay, can I go in? I need to get Huey. It's not that I forgot about Huey, I just forgot that Huey was not with me. He was a crunchy little guy.
Come on.
So crunchy.
Come on.
Come on, Huey. Why did the music stop?
Come on.
Huey?
Come on. Come on.
Where did he go?
Huey.
Where is my dog?
Huey.
What has the game done with my dog? There he is.
Huey.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay. Huey, you need to not stop. You need to continue to come with me. Okay. Jeez. Alright, well, let's go down here. And hope that there's a safe spot? Oh! Okay. Corpse lies on the altar, clutching a stone tablet in a death grip. Solemn sacrifice must be offered to the ever-burning wall of Hades that hinders your quest. Shepherd the beast to the land of Meth. Let's not. By etching your will into a string of letter-based commands. The primitive golem follows but two commands. In the simplest of terms, they are the letter L. The letter L moves the beast left. Letter R moves it right. Four-letter combination of R, 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 R will open the path to the small garden. Are you telling me to do right, 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 right? So, right, right, right. Right, 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 right. Okay, what's right, 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 left? Do I have to get him to all of these? I'm gonna make multiple plates, and we're gonna see if that is what we need. Okay, so what were there? 4 of them in total? We've got right, right. They all have to start right, right. If we do right, right, left. Right, right, left. Then that'll get him here. But if we do right, right, left, right, that'll get him here. And then if we do right, 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 that'll get him here. But if we do right, 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 that gets him there. So I need to make 4 in total. Okay. Assuming that he, like, starts his position over when he touches the fire. I don't know that that's the case. But it feels weird that they, like, gave me the answer. Maybe that's just me tripping, though. And here I was being like, we're not gonna need that bathroom again. Yui? Yui, there's no way I have more stamina than you. Come on.
Good boy.
Let's go.
Huey.
Okay. Oops. Stuck on corners. Isaac all over again. Is it... Bathroom's at the end of this hallway, isn't it? No. It is... Not here either. Although I will save. Because we have accomplished a little bit. And then the bathroom is here. Okay. So we need right, right, left. We need right, right, left, right. Right, right. Left. Right. Right, right, right. And then Right. Okay. And the RRR one. Oh, what'd you find? Refined magnesia. Good boy. I can't duck, apparently. Okay. This is a problem. Well. Hopefully she's not over here. We'll just not run for a moment. Conserve our stamina. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. She is over there. Fuck! Oh, wait, no, she's there! Huh? Huh? But it sounded like she was over here. Huey, you have to tell me better. Well, she's too close. Get her. Huey, you have to get her. Well, this could be a problem. We're just gonna wander down this way and hope that she doesn't come down here. Okay. I don't know where Huey is in relation to me, but he sure sounds to be on the move. Huey? Hold on just a second. I think I heard somebody knock, but it could just be, you know, people upstairs. But I need to go check real fast.
Can we not? Get away from me! Get away from me! Yeah, it sucks when somebody's like up in your face all the time, isn't it? Isn't it? Fucking sucks, doesn't it? Sorry. We're good. I promise, I'm a very nice person.
Okay, yeah, no, it was just upstairs noise. Love that! I love living on edge. Okay, can I just, like, give the golem his directions now? Okay. So let's start with this one. Because we know that RRRR is the correct solution, I think. I assume. Ugh. Booty. Little golem booty. I can make him run, and I love that. Because, this is gonna take a minute, huh? There's our second right. There's our left. And then you just go straight forward, right? Oh. Excuse me. loads every single time. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's just, it's a lot. At least he can kind of hustle. So we're just gonna sit here for a minute. You know, hey, how are things? How are you doing? Look what I got in the mail today. I have a physical copy of Into the Matrix now. With like original booklet and everything. Isn't that cool? Here it is. Look at it. With how it was running on the emulator, I was like, fuck it. I actually want to see if I can like play this again. So I had it on my throne wish list, and it got bought for me, which was delightful. I mean, you should play it. So like, I have a functional PS2, which is exciting. It's not my original one, which is tragic, really, but it's nice. It's cool. I love it. Did that last one not work? Also, I stopped paying attention. But yeah, with like the issues it was having on the emulator and stuff, I know like some of the problems that I was having was literally just me playing an old game that does not work very well. But I was like, maybe actually having it for my system will make it a little better. So we've got it. So I need to move my PlayStation into my bedroom, so that I can try and play this dang silly game. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I thought that was neat. Yeah, 100%. It is very difficult to tell if it's broke because emulator or broke because broke. And there are definitely like some aspects of Enter the Matrix that I'm like, this is 100% broken because of an emulator. And then there's some where I'm just like, I don't know if this is because of just the game or because of the emulator. And it's like, I know we talked about the whole, like, like, kids are powerful when it comes to video games because they've got time. Whereas, like, as an adult, you don't necessarily have the time to dedicate and just kind of, like, power through certain levels or certain mechanics and stuff like that. And, like, true enough. The amount of time I had to dedicate to video games as a child was immense. But I'm still like, how the fuck was I at, like, what? I was, like, 9, 10? When did this come out? You should say on here somewhere. It had to be like, what, 2003 or something like that. Yeah, 2003, there it is. So yeah, I was 9-ish, 9 or 10. Like, how the fuck was I at 9 or 10 years old able to beat this fucking game consistently in a single sitting? Whereas a 30-year-old me can't fucking do it. Oh, there is a guy up there. We will deal with that room in a minute. I just wanted to pick up some of the items that were left behind. Oh, did I do this one wrong? Right, left, right. Right. It's 2 rights. Kiwi, why are you skulking? But yeah, excited to play that at some point. Just medallion. And this goes up to the garden? Oh. I'll try not to do it wrong again. No promises, though. Smells like burnt meat. Bread floater, indeed. I must be cooking an animal's carcass. Fiona, you sweet summer child. It's fine, I haven't written down correctly now. I thought that was gonna lead to that shortcut, that we have yet to unlock. But just to make sure, it's right, right, left, right, right. Why are we growling? You can't do that. Two wrongs don't make a right. But two rights do. Got it. I'll go right, right. Not just right. Fine. We got this. Oh, wait. Can I literally just do it here? Are you kidding me? Okay. Well. Right, right. Left. Right, right. I did think it was a little weird that they expect you to do that one puzzle like earlier than we did and this one on the same one. Although it did like reset how many pressings we had. Because like when we went back to the one in the bathroom, it said that there were 10. But this makes it much more convenient for me. Here I was being like, oh god, it's gonna be so horrible having to run all the way through, you know, the place again. Fucking Daniela's skulking about. And then it's like, no, it's fine. Two rights don't make a right either. One right makes a right. Yeah, but two rights make two rights. So... two rights technically make a backwards. Three rights makes a left. Four rights just puts you back where you started. Why did you do that? Why did you go in a circle? Goober. Jeez. Did we do this right? And five rights makes a right. Okay, so you just have to keep making rights until you get back to going right again. It's just that easy. Just that simple. Okay, we have done this with only one mistake made. Thanks, Golem. You know, honestly, this game, given when it came out, real, like, pretty solid puzzles so far. Like, nothing's been, like, too horrible. And everything has made, like, some form of logical sense. It's not just been... Sorry, I got distracted by the gulper eels.
Come on.
And the anglerfish. Probably didn't help by just saying right 1,000 times. You said that after I started doing the rights, right? After I fucked up. Good fish. I don't actually know that that's a gulper eel, but it does kind of resemble one. Gulper eels usually have a big old sack, for lack of a better descriptor, under their jaw. They can eat things that are significantly bigger than them because of it. Gulper eels are rad. Where's this go? Oh. Well. Yeah, like a pelican, but a fish. Exactly. Can I push this? Yes, but not that way. Ooh! And it's like a fact that everyone knows about anglerfish now at this point, but like, male anglerfish are like a quarter of the size of the female anglerfish, and once they come upon a female anglerfish, they latch onto the female anglerfish, and sort of just become a part of her like, you know, circulatory system, and just sort of melts down to nothing but a part of, you know, continuing to have a circulatory system, and then just a big old pair of gonads. and then they can just mate for life. Not because they're romantic and cute, but just because out of necessity. And I think that's pretty rad, actually. I don't know. Fish are weird. Ocean's weird, you know? And I'm kind of here for it. Kind of here for these weird things. Frickinelli. There's an empty space there. Are there other books that I need? Like this one, maybe. Cathedral Secrets. Also, while we're here, I am gonna close this. To, you know, discourage Daniela showing up, because I would like for her to not be here. Nicola Frommel. Okay, we've got Agrippa. Occult is Agrippa. Okay, I'm gonna write this down so I don't have to keep coming back. Back into this menu, that is. Book full of allegorical hieroglyphs. Wiseman is Frommel. Isn't it Flamel? Or am I an idiot? Is that a translation thing? And Cathedral is Frickinelli. Okay, this was Flamel. So we want Wiseman. What do you mean? Okay. Wait, that said it was Agrippa. So Occult? Oh, and my camera froze. Hold on a second. There we go. Still haven't figured out why it does that from time to time, but it does. That's all we know. Okay, where is... Julius. This is Frickinelli. It's a Cathedral. I didn't need to write it down because I have to still activate it from the menu, but that's okay. And then you. And that's Flamel. Yeah, no, I've like really appreciated the puzzles on there. There's been some that I've like, you know, struggled a little bit with. But that's usually just because like I didn't think. I know, you're gonna have to stay down here for a minute, Huey, okay?
Stay.
But they've not been bad. I've liked it. They've been good. I've enjoyed them so far. Film projector. Also, excuse me? Projector here. It looks rather old. Perhaps it still works. What's this? Chicken jerky for my bestest dog. Screen. Has someone been watching films here recently? Why does this one have a wig? It's a good thing we got a film. Already.
this?
I wrote down those circles, by the way.
Being filmed.
Daniela, please!
Why are you after me? What do you want? Azoth. Azoth? Azoth. Essence of life. Of life. Of woman. Woman.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay. Oh shit. Oh fuck! Okay, whatever. It's fine. We got down.
Come on.
Come on, Huey. Well,
Huey.
I have called for my dog. And I don't think my dog is coming.
Huey. Huey.
Okay. Can she just not come down here?
Come on.
Because if she can't, like, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with her not being able to be down here. Okay, we already went to the garden. There was a incinerator there, right? That guy.
Good boy. Come on. Go.
You wanna get that for me?
Good boy.
Good Huey. Okay, well there's a guy in here doing weird shit. Where am I? The world may never know. I am gonna uncover this. I've decided. I don't... Is that man naked? There's a sheet draped over this thing. Why are they trying to hide everything away like this? Okay. Okay. That's a butt. Look. Look. That's a butt. That right there is a butt. Also, let me turn this down just a little bit because I was way... It's fine. It's fine. I can't talk to the butt man. But honestly, probably for the best. The fuck is that? Fuck off. Let go. I just got chomped by a baby. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, well we got a medallion. And it's locked from the other side. It's an enormous cage. What in the world could they have been keeping in here? Bad things. Huey, what are you doing? Come on, Huey. Sir, are you good? He's just taking inventory. I'll let him do that. What a strange guy, huh? Let's just go ahead and close this. Again, just sort of to discourage Daniela showing up, although I feel like that's not gonna make any goddamn difference. What's over here? Okay. Huh. Well, don't like this room. We got some lavender. Wonder if this could serve as a hiding spot if I'm ever in a pinch. Oh darn, it's locked. Okay, good to know. Hope this water won't make me sick if I drink it. Well, then why are you drinking it? I don't really need my status restored, but that's okay. Some kind of medicine bottle on the shelf. You want to take it? No. Okay. Excuse. Cool. Hate this room. Dislike that a lot. Nothing in there. Bird! There are books spread out on the table. They seem to pertain to complex formulas, but they're far beyond my level of comprehension. Well, that sure is a thing. Synthesizer! By separating the platinum half piece and then synthesizing it with the sacred white, a new spiritually infused substance is born. The path you are walking is ever so dangerous. However, if you don't want the sacred white to be fouled by blood, then you should give up the grand process here. Okay. I wonder if finding these, like, extra things determines, like, which ending you get. I know your relationship with Huey also kind of determines your ending. Okay, let's start on over on the left-hand side now. Fiona's steps were echoing in such a way that I thought Daniela was coming for me.
Huey.
Huey?
Come on. Good boy.
Good dog. Good dog. I'll pet that dog. Okay, this cannot be unlocked, but that's okay because I know the code for this because I wrote it down. So it's half. Oh, no. That and then 3 pieces. Oh, that gets rid of the water. Okay. Nice. And then Danielle's gonna be in here. We started at the bottom, right? I'd like to just double check down here. See if there are any items. Actually, that's locked. Okay. What is that? The Mars symbol? I'll keep that in mind. Huey?
Come on.
Oh my god. Okay. Go get my dog, because my dog won't come to me.
Come on.
Dog.
Come
I am concerned about the lack of music and everything else that's going on. Barry!
It's Barrymore
Hello!
is raiding with a party of 10.
My
Kaysh and the
goodness,
gang
hold on a
welcome
second.
you.
Welcome in, friend! How are you doing? Get a shout out for you. Doing some Stardew! How was that? How are y'all? I'm also realizing that some of you may have gotten an ad, so me asking is not particularly helpful at the moment. We'll give everyone a second to come in. But while that's happening, we'll like hop on over here real fast and just wait and be like, hi, how's it going? Hi, Barry! I'm doing alright. A little annoyed at my upstairs neighbors. Cause you know, they're doing that thing that they do where they're just kinda inconsiderate assholes, but other than that, doing okay. Hi, Emmy. Hello, friends. Welcome in. I mean, Barry and Emmy know who I am, but for anybody else who's here who doesn't know who I am, my name is Kaysh. I'm a I have forgotten how to speak, apparently. I'm a queer horror mystery game streamer. We like to play scary stuff around here. Wait a second. Who are you? I use they them pronouns. And like I said, I play spooky stuff around here. We're currently playing a game called Haunting Ground. It has a lot of real heavy adult themes in it. Because of the kind of content that I play, I like to offer content warnings for all of the games that I usually play. I like to offer content warnings for the games that we're playing. So that you know what kind of content you're seeing. So if you ever need those, !CW will pull them up in chat. Otherwise they're on a timer and they'll show up every once in a while. But always a good idea to check those out. Make sure that the game that we're playing is not necessarily going to adversely affect you, or at least make you aware of what kind of content you may see in the game. How was Stardew, Barry? How was your stream? How are you doing? I asked that. If you need to raid and run, I fully understand. Totally support that. It's very important to me that you take care of your dang self. But I'm also here to hear about how your stream went. And that extends to anyone who has come in on the raid. If y'all need to bail so you can go get some food, get some water, do a stretch, rest your eyes so you're not staring at a TV screen, phone screen, computer screen, whatever, for an extended period of time, feel free to just jet. I'm cool with that. Starting a coffee and tea cafe farm. Ooh. Ooh. Nice. I don't know a ton about Stardew. I've tried to play a few times, and it is not my jam, but that sounds delightful. But yeah, welcome on in. Like I said, we're playing Haunting Ground. It's girl and dog. It's from that era where it was girl and dog. And that's what you did in video game. You were a girl and you had a dog. It's a little more involved than that, but that's the gist of it. It's just us running around with our best friend Huey, telling Huey that he's the bestest boy. But yeah, like I said, if you need to raid and run, go take care of yourself. Please feel free to do so. I've been streaming for a little while, but I plan on going a little while longer as well. Basically, I'm trying to, like, not speedrunning it, per se, but definitely on a fast track to get this game done prior to Silent Hill 2 coming out. Don't ask me how I feel about it. I'm not... I got opinions. Not many that are good, actually, in regards to the remake. But yeah, we're here, we're playing silly video games. I'm happy to have you all around. I appreciate you bringing your community over. I hope they're all cool. With me, that is. They're cool with me being here and being like, hi, let's play scary shit. Huey, why are you growling? Oh. Something tells me this is an insta-death space. We have not saved in a minute. Why are you barking? Are you gonna show me the way? Huey, you're going a little fast for me, buddy. What a good fucking dog!
Boy.
No, come here. I want to pet you.
Boy.
No, I want to pet you.
Good boy.
Nope. Okay, we're just gonna keep telling him he's a good boy. I mean, that's good, but it's not as good as pets. Oh, we're in the upper level of the library now. Rad! What's this? There it is. More items to throw at people. I'm not looking forward to the Daniela fight, if we're being honest. I think it's like the one fight I like vaguely remember. Oh my god. Sorry, hold on. I need to show you Farley. But I'm scared that if I move my camera, everything's gonna get fucked up. Yep, there it goes. Okay, hold on. Okay, but he's really cute. Ugh. You see him? You see him there? Oh, and now it's frozen. Okay. He's just a lumpus, though. Heck. Heck is right. Okay. I haven't fucked it up too bad, have I? Ooh, kinda did. Oh well. Being very precious. Let me take a picture and I'll post it in Discord. Also, don't mind how, like, disorganized the back of my computer was. Yeah, you got a still shot of the silly man. That's fine. He's not really moving. He is just sleeping over there. That was tragic, though. Okay. Oh well, at least you got a glimpse of the boy. He's just being very cute. Why is he so dang cute? Okay. He was even more cute before I started making all that noise. He was like full on upside down head with his chin out and his neck exposed. He was just being really precious. Okay, what's this? Oh, maybe I don't remember this fight, actually. Either that or this is not the fight.
Blood, flesh, woman, you vile.
The delivery of that line
You
made it seem like there
live
should have been a
in
comma between flesh and woman.
again
But
and
hey.
again, and you are allowed to do it because you are a precious, precious little
gosh, woman, please, y'all. We have to get Daniela out of this horribly toxic mansion. Girl, do you not realize you are perpetuating the problem? Sheen Lemon. Okay, Huey, please fucking get her. Get her! But welcome in, Britt and Antoa. She's making new memories. You're not wrong. I have gone too far. That dog is on her head! Look at that dog! Fuck off! Fiona? Fiona, I need you to push that. Okay. Oh, well, I meant to kick her, and instead we got scared. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no! Anyway, how are we doing? How's everyone? How's it hanging? I need. Give me that Mundus. Give me that Mundus. Don't hit me! 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 Fuck! Fiona! Gotta figure out what to eat. What do you think? And what are your options? Did she just stab me? Huey wasn't listening? Well, I was doing good. And then that happened. No, I'm doing all right. Ooh, did we save recently? We did, right? We saved just before we got in here. I don't know that I appreciate her happiness at the moment. Okay, we did save. I was gonna say, we've been very good about doing that thus far. But there's still always that initial concern, right? Where you're like, ooh, did I goof? Please. Let me skin. Oh god. Okay. Don't throw my dog! Bitch is over here eating my dog. Oh my god. Let's just get this where it needs to go. Nope, don't push that. Don't push that. What can I throw at her? We got some refined magnesia. Oh! Well, that wasn't the intended. That really did not do much of anything to her, huh? Oh, JK, I guess that did a lot, actually. She's kind of in the way, though, for me to push that green one. It's fine. We'll do this one instead. She just fully down for the count. Ooh, 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 Fiona. I am out of lavender, and that's a little bit of a problem for me. Hey, do you want to come over here? Yeah, get her, ruin her day. Fuck. Huey, I need you. Oh, this one sucks a lot. Nope. Yeah, I think she should also be less scared when the lady is unconscious. Just generally. Fuck. Okay, well, now we're just gonna panic and run around and be confused and run into shit. And I can't do anything. So that's cool. Don't stab me while I'm down, you bitch! Okay. Note to self, start with the green one, because that one's the worst one to move. Daniela, listen, shut the fuck up and go see a therapist. Ma'am. Please. The things you are doing right now are not okay. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of a lot. But it's fine. We'll get through it. We're just gonna have to do it a few times. It's fine. Okay. Huey. You did better that time, as far as attacking the lady was concerned, and I appreciate that. That's real nice. I like it when we're able to do a hit, you know? I am going to re-equip that. Because that did a lot, actually. Yeah, dog was doing good. The first time we went through, Huey was not listening to me when I asked him to attack her. He would just be like, "Ho? Ho?" And that's not particularly helpful. You know, when it comes right down to it. Get her, Huey. Ruin her day. And then we get this one because it is the most difficult one. Huey. Nope, don't do that. And... oh, I do have lavender. Okay. Very funny to me. Yeah, keeping Brain happy is the key to this fight. But we have the most difficult one handled, which is good. Honestly, that one's only as difficult as it is because the camera wants to look somewhere else. Okay. Huey. Nope. Ma'am! Cool. Panic is, like, at an all-time high. Love that. Use some of that, and go ahead and get some of our stamina back. Huey? Get her. Ruin her day. Wonderful. We'll thank him for the work that he's done. Please, Fiona, you have to push that. I know she's gonna be down for like a good long minute. That is a reflective surface. I need to get her on here. You want some chicken jerky while we wait for the lady to wake up? There we go. Well, sucks for her. Okay, so this was the fight. I half remembered it. But I did remember that it was kind of a hassle. A shard of glass pierces through her body and pins her to the ground. Can't believe things have gotten this out of hand. But hey. Good job, team. We did it. It only took us 3 tries. I'm not mad about that. Like, we've had to try the fights a couple of times, right? With Deb, we had to do it, like, what, twice? 3 times? And with Daniela, it was the 3rd time. 3rd time did it. It helps now that I have, like, better items, I feel like. And I probably should have been using those a little more
Go, Huey.
regularly. Can I do anything with this? Like, can I rotate him? Oh, there's a button. Push that button. You can't kill me now, because I turned you off.
Huey.
Alright. Yeah, no. Fucking did it. I'm excited. I'm very pleased. Like I said, like, overall, like, the handling of the game has not been bad at all. Like, it is less clunky than I recall a lot of games of this era being.
Huey.
Huey, you can come down here. Huey, I shouldn't have to, like... Okay. I can hear him coming. There we go.
Good boy.
But let's get out of here. Let's get out of this bad place. Yeah, like, there's enough of a challenge that you're not necessarily breezing through it, but you're also not getting stuck every, like, 10 paces being like, okay, now what? Can you not go in there? Oh, I can go in there. Oh, that's a hiding spot. Why is that a hiding spot? If we've killed Daniela.
Go, Huey.
I see that baby. Do I have... Yeah. That baby do be wiggling. Fucking idiot! Hey, we did it. We kicked the baby. Yeah, sorry. I realize I just called a baby an idiot. You know what? No. I'm not sorry. Screw that baby. That was a bad baby. That's the worst. Jeez. Oops. Nope, fucked it up. Fuck that one up. What do you mean it's empty? I hate this mini game so goddamn much. You can't just not give me things. Like, I need those things. Sedetio. Oh, does that heal me? Because that would be lovely. Fuck. Not heal me, but does that calm my nerves? Because that would be lovely. Philosopher earrings? What does that do? Earrings made by processing an extremely rare substance known as Philosopher's Stone. Speed at which you calm from a state of panic increases, as does mental stability. I would like to equip those. Okay. Alright. And then what else did we get? Completely reduces panic. Love that for me. Welcome back, Emmy. It's going. We're doing the things. We're getting it done. Daniela's been fucking beat. It's Buttman. Air scales lie in the center of the corridor. Balance in a corridor. Just one more strange happening that I don't even want to try to guess at. Well, then don't. It's as simple as that. Just don't. What is this? Yeah, how are you doing? Weeping Stone. What do those do again? Emits a loud noise distracting enemies. Right. Okay, we could go that way. Or... Listen, it's just what I do. What can I tell you? Monster noises? Kind of my forte. What is up here? Hey! Love being off work. Also me when I try to get, or when I get off work. The knob is rotted off. I can't open the door like this. Yeah, I hope your Monday was not too horrible. I mean, it's a Monday. How good can it be? No, but I hope it wasn't too horrible. Is this where I'm supposed to go? Because I don't want to go here if I'm supposed to go here. Oh.
Miss Fiona. Now, if you would please come with me.
No, I don't want to. Please let me be. I want to go home.
But Miss Fiona, you are home. This whole castle is all yours. So, Miss Fiona does not wish to stay at her castle.
Bro, this castle sucks. Oh, right! Ricardo has a fucking gun!
You miserable wench. You were given the greatest gift of all, and you don't even appreciate it. I can't believe the Azoth was wasted on you.
Man's really over here being like, having a uterus is great. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, fuck that shit.
No choice.
Fuck. Fuck! Well, I wanted that. Yeah, eat that shit. Oh god, don't shoot me! You bastard! Well, she's taking getting shot very well. Oh god, what do I want? Not that. Not that. That's for dog. I only have the one chamomile? That's a problem. Oh fuck. There's so many items in here and I want them all. Don't shoot me, Ricardo!
Over here. Over.
Go through, go through, go through, go through. Oh, I know where we are. Okay. Oh fuck, he's coming at me, isn't he? Oh god. Yeah, the escalation of guy who walks slowly and punches, lady who runs and stabs, man who has a goddamn Glock. Man showing up with his fucking pistol being like, I'm gonna ruin your goddamn day. It's like, yeah, you are, actually. That whole getting shot thing, not a fan. Don't appreciate, don't like. Okay, this isn't exactly where I want to be. But at least it gives us a second to, like, breathe. And figure out what we're supposed to do. Okay. Excuse me. I mean, stay away from Ricardo. Man kind of sucks. I'm trying to think of where I need to go. And what we need to do. Because we don't have any keys at the moment, right? We've got the perfume and the cracked plates. Cracked plates we've used. Hebble's perfume we've used. We got... I mean, there's like a whole bunch of like places that we haven't explored, right? It's just a matter of getting back to them and not having Ricardo find us. Excuse me. Follower is calming the flame. It sounds like these are smaller steps to a larger process. A synthesizer? Been placed in this dark and spooky hallway. Huey's caught wind of something again. Not even that stopped her. What is she? The maid from hell? I guess I'm safe. Why is it always like this? Not even that Ricardo was telling me I should stay in the castle, but I'm not stupid. I know the longer I stay here, the greater my chances are of getting killed. Ooh, can I pick that back up? I didn't mean to put that on the ground. Can I pick that up? Nope. Okay, that lives there. Do you think he's gone away now?
Come on.
Is this just the music that plays forever? I think this is just the music that plays forever now. Oh wait, actually that might just be like the creaking of metal. That noise. This way? Yeah, I guess at this point it is just a matter of like exploring the new area. Which is gonna prove to be a little difficult because we have a man with a fucking pistol chasing after us. And making everything kind of suck, really.
Come on.
Huey. Yeah, no, it's been really great. I was saying earlier that it was like, you know, given when it came out, I was expecting it to be a little more clunky at times. And like it's definitely like it's got its bits. But the puzzles are pretty self-explanatory. I still am not entirely sure about the one that we did in the room with the corpse. Like, I'm not fully certain how I solved that one. But everything else, like, there's, like, a logical progression to it. And the pacing's really cool and really good, I should say. Not necessarily just cool. Even as frustrated as I've gotten at times with getting chased, it's helped break up some of the monotony of just wandering around and trying to like solve all the puzzles. But you also do often get enough of a break between chases to be able to make significant progress. And yeah, no, it's still real good, and I still really like the. I mean, it's like Rule of Rose for me, in that like I really love the story. So even if it didn't necessarily play great, I would still like it. Which I still need to finish the end of Rule of Rose. I need to finish that and then upload it to YouTube. Hey, sir, maybe don't do that. You do you, though, I guess. But yeah. Well, and that's the reason Rule of Rose is as clunky as it is just because it was unfinished. Like, the dev team had less time to finish it than they had anticipated, and they weren't necessarily able to do all the things that they wanted to do with it.
Come on.
Huey. Whereas this was like an actual complete game that executives didn't fuck over. Which we appreciate, and like,
Come on.
come on, Huey. I need you to come with me, buddy, okay? Thanks. Excuse me. So like comparing the two, not entirely fair, being like, oh, Haunting Ground, Rule of Rose. I find their stories to be like incredibly impactful and around the same level of like discussing really heavy topics, but doing it in such an amazing way. But as far as like mechanics go, so far, so different from each other. Synthesizing two objects together is a task any fool could surely complete. The true sage strives to master the art of transformation and the deep inner secrets to be reaped. White is the fool's color, as they will never know the glories to be had beyond the stale hue. The true scholar, striving for perfection, knows only of the quest for the color red, for it is the symbol of utter perfection. Yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, red is a fine color. Oh hey! Baby in a jar. I'm getting Dead Space flashbacks. Is there anything I can do in here? But yeah, no, still great game. Still really like it. Still very much enjoying it. And we're kind of not really like zooming through it, you know? They're gonna grow tentacles and squiggle up. Yeah, it's true. They're gonna it's gonna be a whole dang thing.
Come on.
And I don't even have any weapons. Huey, come on. Yeah, we're not like zooming through it. We have been taking our time with it. But like, it's been right. I can't go there. Nope. That whole train of thought is gone. That's okay. It happens. Okay, and I don't need to do anything in there right now. So we need to go back through here and hope that Ricardo is not here. You want to look at it? Oh god. No, look. Can't see any higher than this. Okay, well... What was that noise? Extractor, born from the swirling sands of chaos, the primordial element Prima Materia begins to decay, and before long changes into the Yellow Demon. For those seeking the next evolutionary step, stray not from the road of purification. Okay. Well, maybe we should just not do any of that, actually. Consider. Okay, this is where Ricardo chased us through. There's this guy, just kind of wiggling. Well, Man with a gun is over there. This is very inconvenient where he's hanging out, you know? Like, I need to be where he is. And is he coming here? What's going on? What are we doing? Because, like, I need to go where he is. But I need to not be there when he's there. Oh! That looks like it's gonna break. Where the heck does that hole go? Why is there so much shit? Okay, it's fine. Some notes have been jotted down. That foul beast of a dog. That damned beast ran off with the prima materia that I was refining in the decomposer. I'd spent countless hours stabilizing the damn thing, and that mutt up and runs off with it. Good job, Huey. However, there's no reason to go running about searching for it. Of course, it is one of the key ingredients for creating the Godstone, but I have little need for Godstone, as I will soon have my hands on a far greater power. My sweet, sweet Azoth! You were so splendid! A true masterpiece! I must have you. This infernal waiting grows rather tiresome. A dog. Maybe it's referring to Huey. Huey, why did you run off? Shoddy-looking research equipment has been left here.
Come on.
Where did you go, my sweet, sweet, sweet dog? Decomposer! The initial step in this grand process begins with the manipulation of the primordial chaos. Deliver the prima materia to the extractor, and the path to the Godstone and all of its righteousness, whilst be known. Or whilst. I already don't know how to read anymore, it's fine. Midway down the sacred path, if the result of one's knowledge bursts into ash, return to this location. For man is a beast of many mistakes, and more fortunately, so of many redemptions. Thus, all is not lost. Ash begets chaos, chaos begets primordial life. Know that the grand process always begins here. Cool. Can I go in this hole? What's in this hole? I can distinctly feel air coming from inside. I wonder where it leads. Go in hole. Go in hole. Oh, it's too tight for me to squeeze in there. Huey? Oh, fucking no! I think you need to leave me alone, sir. No. No, no, no. Man is stomping. Okay. Yeah, he needs to go away. Sir, you've not lost sight of me, like, at all? You've known where I have been this entire time. Oh, we're getting tired.
Over there.
Can I just hide behind here? Is he gonna go away? Ricardo, are you gonna fuck off, or what? Okay. Well, we're gonna continue to sit here for a minute. And, wait for him to leave. Huey, were you growling because there's a man not too far away, or because Ricardo is coming after us? Can you use your big dog words? Please and thank you? Consider? What's here? Have I been up here? Huey, you gotta follow me, buddy. Come on. Not the arf arf.
Come on.
Okay. Can we open this? It won't budge. It appears to be blocked by something on the... Okay. Listen, I was trying to get Huey to go in that hole, and then Ricardo showed up and said, ha ha ha, I'm gonna shoot you. It's like, sir, can you not? Consider. Don't. Okay. Is this the right way? Yes. Yes.
Come on.
Huey, I'm gonna need you to keep up, bud. Okay.
Come on.
Huey,
Come on.
you need some jerky?
Come on. Come on.
Don't growl at the man. He's fine. He's just doing his thing. I need you to come here, dog. Thank you. I don't like getting upset at dog, but I also need dog to listen to me. I would prefer it if Huey listened and kept pace with me. He has 4 legs. Don't. No growling. Growling means Ricardo's around. If you don't growl, he's not gonna show up. That's how that works. Okay. Huey, I'm gonna need you to go in here, okay? Yeah. Go.
Go.
Good dog. Okay, now I have to run all the way to the other side. And then he can pick up whatever's in there. And maybe nudge the door open for me? It looked like the barricade was still, like, pretty low. Happy you're still here. Look, sometimes you just gotta do a lurk. And that's fine and cool. And more than acceptable. We're here for lurking. I appreciate knowing that you're here, though. I got too far. I feel like I've gone too far. This is too far. Right, I have to go around that stupid corner. Okay, hold on. She's getting tired. I'm making her run too much. I'm sorry, Fiona. But I do need you to hustle quite a bit. Although I recognize that I am wearing you out a little bit. But, like, listen. We got places to be, things to do, dogs to get. Huey's inside.
Go, Huey.
Can you... Yeah.
Go, Huey.
Huey's inside.
Come on.
Okay, I thought I had to tell him to go, not show up. Oh, she's got her earrings on! I like that she's wearing the earrings in the cutscenes. That's cute. Good dog. Good, smart dog. Smartest, goodest dog. Let's close that. Just again to kind of discourage Ricardo from finding us. Purifier. The impure yellow mass of filth will set free the shining glory of the sacred platinum via this baptismal ritual. Proceed to the next step of the grand process, that is synthesis. I should be writing these down, I feel like. It starts with decomposer, right? And then goes to something. Purifier goes to synthesis. Yeah, Huey's the best. Easy. He is the goodest dog. You want to pick that up, Fiona? There we go. Viridae medallion. What was that noise? Concern. Ooh, safe spot. Oh, we've really only been streaming for 2 hours? Jeez. I feel like, I say that, it's not that it feels like we've been streaming for a long time, we've just, like, accomplished a lot in that amount of time, you know? Chamomile!
Huey.
No, come here, come on. Thank you, Huey.
Good boy.
Alright, what is here? I'd love to be able to see where I'm going. But, you know. Vision also kind of overrated. Horrible baby.
Huey.
Get him, Huey. Back! Did she just put down another fucking... Oh my god. Ma'am. You're the worst. Just let that man eat. What was that?
Huey.
No. Huey. Get...
Huey. Huey.
Go! Huey!
Go. Go.
Huey? Huey, I need you to get the baby. Never mind. I'll just punt the baby. How about that? How about we just kick the baby? Oh, fuck.
Over there.
Thank you, Huey. No, just open.
Huey.
None of this is helping. This is all the worse. Don't shoot me. Oh, fucking shit. Oh, well, okay. 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 This is fine. He's too far away. He can't. Oh, never mind. He can shoot me. He can shoot me over here. Cool. Eat that chamomile right now. Great.
Huey.
Man can't come down here. We've determined this, right? Huey?
Come on.
Here, do you want some chicken jerky? Will that make you feel better?
Good boy.
Okay. Well, that sucked a lot. But I need to go back there. I need to go back into that garden, because there was shit there. Do you think he's gone away? Huey. Why are we growling? Is Ricardo nearby?
Come on.
Or are you just trying to freak me out? Because I don't really like either option.
Go, Huey.
You want to go give me that item? Huey, it's over here.
Go, Huey.
Get it. Get it, dog. Yeah. Ooh, hold on. What is this? Indescribable material that looks like it could be both a liquid and a solid. Oh, do I have to refine this now? Okay. This could be a problem. Because I don't remember where everything is. Most material can be a liquid and a solid, but at the same time? Oh, she does tell me this whole- wait, no, she doesn't. Okay. I was like, oh, cool, she's, like, written everything down for me. And then that's not true. Okay. Okay, well, time to go back through. It's a sliquid. The fourth... the fourth state of matter. Yeah, exactly. You get it. I thought I was gonna kick Huey there for a second. I was gonna be very upset. Alright, that guy just wants to eat whatever he's eating. Do that, but away from me, because those sounds are horrible.
Come on.
You don't need to growl at him, Huey. He's just enjoying his lunch. And I think he's allowed to do that, you know? Speaking of, I should probably eat soon, because I need to take my meds. Okay. We'll probably call it soon-ish. Did I already write this one down? Purifier, yes. I got lots of stuff that I can heat up, so it's not like, oh god, it's late and I need to cook stuff. I definitely need to heat something up and, do an eat. Where was that? Where are the other ones? Do we even know? There's this. That sure is a room. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit I'm gonna go sit on a chair in the dark and just slurp. That's my favorite way to take a meal. This is my second favorite way to take a meal. Just throw that shit on the ground. And I'll, lap it up. Transmute. Transmuter. Synthesizing two objects together is a task any fool could surely complete. True sage strives to master the art of transformation and the deep inner secrets to be reaped. Okay, so, I mean, like, transmute is the last step, which I think is synthesis as well? Transmute? Question mark? Why is the fool's color? We want to go for yellow. I mean, for red. Blood, not piss. Your favorite food is stain? Good choice. Good, delicious food. Good, delicious stain. There. We can't open that, can we? Large door stands unnervingly still. It's just standing there! Menacingly! Letters have been etched into the door. Pursuer of truth, and trust the accumulation of knowledge to the judgment of the goddess. The mysterious mysteries beyond the door, the secret path, will be known only to those resourceful enough to forge the Godstone. Okay, so we need to give the lady the Godstone once we make it. Cool. Understood. See, this is what I mean about, like, puzzles make sense. And I think the Prima Materia is what we need to use. Like, this is what we're wiggling about. I just need to figure out the order in which to do that. And some of that requires a lot of running around. So bear with.
Come on.
What is this one? Extractor. Born from the swirling sands of chaos, primordial element, blah 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 blah. For those seeking the next evolutionary step, stray not from the road of purification. Okay, so extractor to purifier to synthesis. And then hope this is absolutely riveting for you all. This one. Which one is this one? Is this the decomposer? Just waiting for that to break. I'm just gonna step on it accidentally. Was that shiny? Hold on. Is there a shiny up there? No, I'm just seeing shit. Okay. Understood. Decomposer. So is the decomposer, extractor, purifier, synthesis? Are there just 4? I'm gonna check our comments. We have purifier, analyzer, transmuter, extractor. Where did she get analyzer? That's 4 though, right? Transmuter, extractor. Analyzer. Purifier. Is the analyzer the decomposer? Is that just like, is this just a translation error? Okay, well we're gonna try. Okay. And then to the extractor? Maybe I should try a different item? Hold on. We had... No, that's not it. Was it written here? No. Was it here? We have the prima materia. We refined it in the decomposer. Okay, so like it's technically already been decomposed? Hold on. I'm gonna save state real quick. Again, don't necessarily like doing this, but I'm curious.
Come on.
Come here.
Come on.
Oh, didn't mean to kick. Creaking. I think that's all it does, it's just creak. Maybe we use it for something else later. Okay. So we need to go to the extractor. Which... I've already forgotten where that was. So that's cool. Was it in here? Was this the extractor? Hey, you extract things? Yes. Oh, no, I understand. So if we fuck up, we need to go to the decomposer, change the ash that we got from our fuck up back into the prima materia. I understand. So we want to use the extractor? And then the purifier. Okay, but what does it change to? Sulfuric ore! Okay. So... extractor for first. I am gonna write this down just to make sure that I do this in the correct order in case we fuck up somewhere. And then it's the purifier. Because we need to go from yellow to red, right?
Come on.
Huey. Okay, thank you. Good boy.
Good boy.
Gotta make sure we tell him he's a good boy. I need him to understand what a good lad he is. Is there one in here, or am I just making shit up? There is one in here. What are you? Purifier, which is what we want. I think. Oh my, it's actually transformed. Okay. Purifier. And then transmuting one, which is excuse me. I'm gonna start walking because stamina, and also it's been a minute since we've seen Ricardo, and I'm worried. Come on, Huey. Let's
Come on.
Huey?
Come on. Come on. No. Come on.
I understand that he might be following us,
Come on.
but I need you to come with me, Huey. Stop growling. It's terrifying. Oops, excuse me, sir. Didn't mean to walk on your dinner.
Come on.
Okay, and then this one is the transmuter. Yeah, okay. Is this the Godstone? Do we have the Godstone now? No transformation occurred. Excuse me?
Good boy.
Baby!
Go.
Get it.
Huey.
Huey, you have to get the babies! I should be able to kick the baby. Fuck, and now Ricardo's here! Excuse me. Coming through.
Over here.
Okay, so we are missing one more item and one more... There was a door there. I should have gone there.
Huey.
Huey, protect me! It's add... It's quote add, but no space? We'll never remember. We're never gonna remember. No, Ricardo, fuck off! I'm not there. Sorry, there's also a bug over here. Just a little gnat. I got it. Are none of these it? Hold on a second. Just try every possible combination. My bot's on and working. We do know this. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I don't remember what it is. And it's not listed anywhere. And I know we figured it out the one time. I could have sworn it was quote add. But apparently I am incorrect. Try it again. Maybe it was just slightly broken. Yeah, but my chatbot likes to just not do anything that it's supposed to. Is the thing. It is quote ad. And why the fuck didn't it work for Fruity? Well, at least it was added, but I'm sorry it didn't work for you. What the heck? Thank you, Emmy, for adding that. Literally, I'm looking at it. And it's not misspelled or anything. Whatever. Ridiculous. Well, it was quote space ad. The first attempt was quote space ad. I'm looking at it right now. I don't know. It just wanted to be mean to Fruity. No, it's good. It's all good. But it's also like, what's your problem? What's the deal, bot? Friend did it right. So
Come on.
what's the dealio? But not. I don't know. Excuse me. Okay, what are we trying to do? We're trying to synthesize extractor to purifier, purifier to synthesis, an extractor. Okay, well, we extracted, and I tried to synthesize, or did I try to transmute? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Slash, I'm not sure where else to go. Can I go in here? No, that's kind of the way that we just came. We have just gone in a giant circle. There is this, but we've used this. Oh, this is the purifier. Did I not use this? No, because we went from sulfur to silver. So we need to synthesize. Which we tried to do, and it didn't do anything. Am I just, like, going mad?
Huey.
It's like, that wouldn't be, like, shocking. Wouldn't necessarily be surprised. Here, Huey, are you tired? Is that why you're lagging behind again? You want some jerky? Alright, admittedly, I am a little lost about what to do. There was that whole, like, you synthesize it, but you need to transmute. Which is... I'm gonna try it again. Because I don't know what else to do. No, it just gave us back the silver ore. Um, some kind of incubator. There's something inside. It's empty now. I can't believe that thing was alive. Well... And there aren't any other... What do I transmute it with? You made with the extracted essence of the herbal flower. Am I? There's just the 4, right? But it says to, like, transmute 2 items together? What items can I transmute together? Am I... Like, what am I missing? Okay, the transmitter is the synthesizer. This tells us that. What's that guy doing behind me? Headbutting the wall? Can I interact with him? Does he have something in his noggin that I can use? I hate walking past the licking man. Are you okay? No. Okay, so that might just be, like, identifying information about where that is. An extractor, I know this will make me sound stupid, but means to extract things. I'll just push the idea of using it to just, to extract something from that woman in that capsule out of my head for now. Oh. Device used to analyze things. Well, I'm hardly a techie, so a lot of this stuff is just too complex for me. But it would seem that this device is somehow related to the fact that the room is corroding away. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I need to reposition myself here for a second. The fact that the room is bolted shut has to mean that someone was serious about keeping people out of this room. I use this analyzing? It's the corroding room. Huey? Leave the man alone. Again, he is just enjoying his lunch.
Come on.
Goodness gracious. Sorry, I think this is like the first time that we've been like stuck in a while.
Huey.
So it is just gonna be us running back and forth for a little bit while we try to figure out what's going on. This is not the corroded room. That would be this way? I thought I used that already, but maybe not. Oh, maybe I didn't, actually. Okay. That's fine. We'll figure it out. I think the problem for me is just that there are, like, so many different rooms to keep track of. I thought I had used this, though. Whatever, let's try it again. No, because this is the decomposer. Okay, so this isn't it. Okay, well... So that room can stay as is. That's just where we go if we fuck up. And then we extract. Which we did. But I am gonna read it again in case it says something that I, like, just completely missed. Pour from the swirling sands. This is purification. No, next step is purification. Extract, purify. We've done that. Do I need to purify yet again?
Come on.
If I can't get it in the next couple of minutes. And it may be due in part to, like, me being a touch hungry. But if we don't get it in the next couple of minutes, we'll call it here and then pick this back up the next time we stream. This is the purifier, which we've done. And the next step is synthesis. So I'm not sure what else to do. Unless I've just, like, fully missed a machine somewhere. This goes back to the caves. Or the mausoleum, which I don't really want to go to.
Come on.
The poor lady is tired again. You know what, I think we will just call it here. Let's find a safe spot. Oh, just kidding. There's one. Yeah, I think some of the issue is the fact that I'm like, I'm a touch hungry. And yeah. But I mean, we've made a lot of really good progress today. We finished out Daniela's section. Like we finished the last couple of puzzles that were there. And then got through her fight. Boy, excuse me. And we've started this section. We've found the Prima Materia. We've running away from Ricardo a whole bunch. It is just a matter of, like, trying to figure out the order in which we're supposed to do stuff, which I'll leave to future me when they're less hungry and less tired. But yeah, that's gonna be all for now. Yeah, good luck, future case. Nerd. Fucking idiot. That guy's the worst. Alright, let's see. Let's do a little raid. Over to... Let's go say hi to Hugh Chu. Chu is doing some Baldur's Gate 3, it looks like. It's been a minute since we said hi to them. We love Chu here. But yeah, as always, thank you everyone for hanging out and being here. I appreciate it. This was a nice way to wrap up Monday. I don't know, like I said, I'm gonna try to start doing streams again regularly, just because, like, I have been very motivated to do it, and I've been enjoying it. A lot of the trouble just comes down to the fact that I have just been so busy and exhausted from existence that it has made it a little difficult. But we've been taking care of ourselves, and that's what matters. But I would like to get back into streaming regularly and stuff like that. 2 weeks from today, Silent Hill 2. Sort of sums up the feelings there, but it is a thing that we're keeping on the books as far as the date is concerned. I do plan on streaming that day. We'll see how that goes. But until then, have a good one, friends. We'll see y'all next time.